what's up, gun nuts? It's Ferrari Steve, and today I'm going to do a field strip and unboxing video for a kind of interesting Sig Sauer P220. Now, the first thing you'll notice is there's some red involved. There was a red box, and a cardboard box at that, not the kind of hard-shelled ones you might be used to seeing with a Sig, and a red band around the handle. Normally with a new Sig, you'll see a gray band, denoting that it's brand new. However, if you look carefully at the fine print, it says certified pre-owned Sig Sauer. Now, what's interesting about this, these are normally guns that are going to be issued to some sort of military or police agency, and they get sent back to Sig after what could be, I don't know, a long duty life, maybe a short duty life, who knows. Maybe it got carried every day, maybe it got shot a lot, maybe it sat in a desk. It's kind of a crapshoot. But they do get sent back to Sig. Sig reworks them, they give them to their gunsmiths, and they'll replace some internal springs, replace anything that needs to be done. If the slide is kind of hashed up, they'll even recoat the slide. But they essentially recertify it as a kind of new gun, and they'll give you a 1-year warranty on it. And the great part is, you're going to pay about 60% of what you would normally pay for a brand new Sig. So I actually like these. You won't tend to find these very often because generally the guys in the gun shop who work there will buy them when they come in. But I got one of these at a gun shop in Utah, and I've been looking for a 220 in 45 ACP, and I just couldn't pass it up. So let's take it out of the box. I mean, you obviously get all the regular stuff. It comes with 2 magazines. Does not come with night sights. They'll replace the sights if I have to, but they don't put night sights on, which is kind of a bummer. I do wish with their certified pre-owned program they would do that, because if you send your Sig back for what they call their, I don't know what they call it, but it's kind of like a refresh service. You can send your Sig in, and you basically pay for night sights. They'll put the night sights on and replace all the springs and stuff inside. So anyway, you get 2 magazines, owner's manual, and even the owner's manual says pre-owned on it. The lock, the little, stop in the name of love thing, and a little bit of lubricant. But anyway, let's take it out of the box, put the box aside. Don't need that anymore. I've already sliced the band, so we can take that off and toss it away. And there she is. So let's do a quick safety check. Eject the magazine, do a manual and physical inspection, and the gun is safe. Now, let's talk a little bit about the history of the Sig Sauer P220. It was originally developed based on, as a lot of guns are, a John Moses Browning design, but it was designed by, or built by, designed by Sig, which is Schweizerische Industrie Gesellschaft, which just means a Swiss industry company, is what that means in German. However, the P220 is the first true Sig Sauer, because even though Sig was the company that designed it, and they designed it to be adopted by the Swiss Army in 1975, it was actually the Sauer part of the kind of partnership, which is a German company. So Sig is a Swiss company, and J.P. Sauer and Son is the German partner of theirs who manufactured the guns. So that's where you get Sig Sauer, a Swiss and German kind of conglomerate or partnership. So the P220 and all Sigs after the P220 are true Sig Sauers. Prior to that, like the P210 was a Sig-only gun. P210 was used in World War I, I think. Anyway, no, in World War II. And this was the gun that the Swiss Army asked Sig to make them to adopt as their military sidearm in 1975. The original version was 9mm, and is still what the Swiss Army calls their Pistole 75, or Pistol 75. That's still the Swiss Army sidearm today, and because the Vatican uses the Swiss Guard, the Vatican guards also carry 9mm P220s, or really they just call them P75s. But anyway, this one is chambered in 45 ACP, which is what I wanted. And a lot of cool design elements that you'll see on later versions of the P22 whatever gun, right? Maybe a P226 like this. You'll see, a lot in common between these guns. This is a P226 West German model in 9mm. I'm going to talk about that in another video, which is a descendant of the P220 design. So what's neat about this is I found that based on the serial number, this gun would have been manufactured in 2001, which means it's made in Germany. Now, on some Sig Sauers, you might see made in West Germany. That means the gun was manufactured before German reunification in 1991, I think. Anyway, when it's made after unification, it'll just say made in Germany because West Germany no longer existed as a country then. Anyway, this one is a German-made one, which means the slide here. In fact, let's field strip it, and then we'll talk about the slide a little bit. So to field strip it, lock the slide open. We've already checked. A little takedown lever here. Pop it down, release the slide, and just pull it free. Your frame, this frame, it feels super light, but it is aluminum. So I like a nice metal frame. And then we just push the recoil spring in. Now this recoil spring, you'll notice, is green. I don't know if the original one was green. It probably was, because you'll see these green recoil springs in a Sig Sauer with a lot of their military or police issue pistols. That means this recoil spring is a little beefier than their standard one, than maybe the ones you'll see that are orange or red. The green ones mean that this gun is set up to take hotter loads, or plus P loads, which some law enforcement or military agencies want to use. So recoil spring comes out, barrel just lifts and pulls, and there we go. Now this one is in real good shape. I mean, a little bit of slide smile, but you know, some wear on top here, but really in fantastic shape, which is one of the reasons I wanted it. The other reason I wanted this one when I saw it in the gun shop is because of this. So if you look right here on a P220, you'll see this, the breech lock here is a separate piece, and it's pinned in place with these two roll pins, and the pins should have their openings on opposite sides. So the outer pin has the opening up top, and the inner pin has its opening down bottom. Now this, I call it a breech lock. It's a breech block. Anyway, this breech block here with an internal extractor, I like that design better. The later model P220s, you won't see that, and you'll see that this is all one milled piece, where the earlier P220s, this is actually stamped. It starts out life as a flat piece of metal put over a mandrel and then stamped down to this design, and then it'll actually weld on this front part. And it's carbon steel instead of milled from a piece of stainless steel. Whether or not that's really better, it's really up to you. Some of the Sig purists think that's cooler or better. I just kind of liked it. I like it better. I like the internal extractor on the P220. This is truer to the original design of the P220, and so that's kind of why I wanted it. So that was one thing that is in its favor when I saw it in the gun shop. One bad thing, however, this handle may or may not have been the original, or grips actually. The grips may or may not have been the original grips that came with the gun when it was issued. Based on the serial number, I dated it at 2001. On the side of the box it says 2014, so it came from Sig as a reconditioned or certified pre-owned gun in 2014, but it was issued in 2001, and usually the 2001 have the older style, kind of like on this 226, you know, this style checkered handle, which I kind of think is cooler. I'm going to try to find a set of them just to have to keep it complete, although chances are I'm going to swap these out for a set of Hogue grips with the finger grooves, because I like that better. Anyway, this is how the gun breaks down. Real nice and simple. Pretty easy to maintain. These are just legendary for their reliability, and as I heard one person describe it, boringly accurate. Just out of the box, every Sig I've got has just been a tack driver, and this P220, I'm sure, is not going to be any exception. The good news is, if there is a problem with it, I've got a year to send it back to Sig and have them take care of it. So I plan on getting some lead down range with this as soon as possible. Anyway, reassembly, pretty straightforward. Pop the barrel back in. And again, keep in mind, if you've got one of these green springs, it's going to take a little more pressure than you might be used to slide that down. So just kind of be ready to hold it so it doesn't spring across the room. Lock it down in there. Full length. Right here, not like the Glocks where they attach here. You attach it all the way down to the end. Slide it back, lock it, take the takedown lever, drop it down, and hit the decocker. Again, really cool feature, this decocker. The P220, as I understand it, the first SIG to have that decocker lever on there. It is a dual action, single action pistol, meaning, you know, the first, if it's decocked, the first pull is a lot of pressure. My battery's dead in my tester, so I can't really tell you exactly how much is there. But there's that first shot, and then come back. Then you just have to go from there to make it actuate again. So I like a dual action, single action trigger. That's a safety feature. You see a lot of military guns will use that. And it takes some training to get used to, but I like it. It doesn't have an external safety. That is part of the safety mechanism of the gun not going bang until you want it to, right? And again, even though this is kind of an older design, right, 1975, there are still a number of agencies, including some U.S. ones, that still carry it. Again, like I said, the Swiss Army still carries it. The Swedish police carry a P220. The U.S. Park Rangers actually carry a P220 chambered in 45, which I think is kind of cool, and the Canadian police use a variant of this, the P225. So the P225 and the P245 are direct variants of this, whereas other things like the P226, the P229 are kind of the descendants of this gun. But again, the P220, just a great alternative for a single stack 45. If you've got smaller hands, it's really easy to get a nice affirmative grip on this. It's really not that wide. I mean, you compare it to the width of a P226, the 226 is actually wider because the P226 is a double stack, where this is just a single stack magazine. You know, capacity might not be super high if you're used to carrying 16 in your Glock. You know, maybe you don't like that, but I don't know. 8 rounds of 8 + 1 rounds of 45, you know, will probably do the job in most situations if you're using it as a self-defense gun. Again, they make variants with the rails. I kind of wanted this one clean. The older ones generally don't have the rails. If you want rails, you're gonna have to go with a newer one. But I think it's a beautiful gun. I was really excited to find it. It's gonna be a great piece for me to carry and shoot for fun at the range. You know, I may end up wearing this one if I have to wear a suit. I'm going to wear a shoulder holster, kind of big to conceal carry, unless you're wearing like a suit coat and have a shoulder holster. So I've ordered a shoulder holster add-on, you know, a little holster part for my Galco Miami Classic that I wear. And you know, if you see me in a suit, chances are I might be carrying this Sig P220. This is Ferrari Steve, thanking you for watching, reminding you that a dirty SIG is a happy SIG, so get up there, get it dirty, take care of it. Make sure that the first time that you have to use it isn't the first time that you have used it. Be safe out there.